learn from about your own body language, but it's to read the other person's thoughts. Are you perhaps coming on too strong? Or are you not really saying anything that's engaging their attention? Perhaps their gaze is wandering. So maybe your eye contact needs a bit more working on. Or maybe it's just not going to work out, in which case, goodbye, you know. You will become 10 times more attractive if you're curious about the other person. If you will ask them questions about themselves, these open-ended questions, and actually mentally rehearse them before you're going on a date, what you're going to ask them about. Because lots of people never ask open-ended questions. I know people quite well who never, ever ask them, ever. And it is a matter of practice. So curiosity, paying compliments, and there is one other technique called mirroring. I hate to call it a technique, it's something we do naturally. When you mirror someone's body language, you can mirror their tone of voice, and the more closely you're mirroring, the greater the reciprocity that you're creating between you. Okay, so first dates, what else have we got here? What about, you get to the end of the first date, and you'd like to see that person again, but you're not certain how to finish the date. Well, the first thing is you're going to finish the date sooner rather than later. Leave the other person with something more to find out about you. Be a bit mysterious. It's always better that way than drinking endless glasses of wine till 1 o'clock in the morning. That doesn't work. Say that you've really enjoyed the date and you'd like to see them again, and why don't you swap phone numbers and give each other a ring in a week or two. Give each other a ring in a week or two. This isn't what people usually say, but I'm suggesting that it should be, because it makes it more equal. Very often the woman waits for the man to say, he'll give her a ring sometime, and then he doesn't. The woman can't ring him because it's chasing and she feels bad about it because all the old etiquette still prevails, unfortunately, and nothing happens. But if you say, let's leave it that we give each other a ring in a week or two, anyone can phone anyone, and it's much more relaxed, it's much more equal and open, and it's easier. And you can give them a ring if they don't phone, because men and telephones, they're terrible. I'd always put your own message on the answering machine if you possibly can. Don't use one of those pre-recorded ones, and make sure it's a warm, friendly message. You know, take a deep breath before you record it and smile into the microphone. Then it'll sound lovely. Doesn't matter if you also use it for work. You want to sound welcoming to anybody who's phoning up. So anyway, getting back to these first dates, leave it open if you like the person, who rings who. Don't fix up another date immediately, whatever you do. If you don't like the person, please, please don't say that you're going to call them and then don't call them. That's a horrid thing to do. Just say that you're seeing lots of people at the moment and you're not taking it further with any of them. You're just going to network and make lots more friends. It's better to say that, and that you don't think you've got enough in common to take it forward at this moment. Wish them well, but be honest. Don't pretend you're going to see them if you're not, because that's a horrible thing to do. I mean, it's true that on the internet, people don't respond to a large proportion of the messages they get in some cases, if they're in an age group where they're particularly popular. So younger women who are very scarce on the internet will be very choosy about who they respond to. Because a lot of people don't go dating because they're looking for somebody who's really looking for something completely different to what they are. We all do it. It's this FSI, faulty self-image thing. You know, men tend to look for women much too young. Women tend to look for men much too young, and it's all very difficult. Anyway, getting back to that last first date situation, what about good manners? I read somewhere that women prefer men who are chivalrous rather than PC. Is that true?
Yes.
No?
Yeah.
Anybody disagree?
Yeah.
Chivalrous?
Well, I think so long as they're honest about it, if they mean it.
If they're really truthfully chivalrous and they open doors for you?
Yeah, I think that's nice.
People generally need to be honest, and the old-fashioned rules actually work nowadays as well. So the old-fashioned rules of someone being chivalrous and someone actually just being themselves in front of someone new is there all the time.
But it is true that in spite of feminism and all that's been achieved or not achieved, depending on your perspective, it is the case that women do prefer men who are more chivalrous. Does that even go as far as letting the man pay the bill?
I think it's an amazing exit or possibility. If it's an exit that you want there, then you say, look, actually at this stage I'm not interested in and I'd really like to split the bill. And if not, if you're allowing him to be chivalrous, then that's fine. You allow him that, and then next time round you can pay the bill.
Exactly, if there is a next time.
Yeah.
I think that's very well
We don't
put.
have an argument about it, but
No.
offer at least, I think.
Offer at least, I think, and then give in gracefully.
Yes.
I think that's the way to handle it.
What do the men think?
Yes,
I usually offer to pay on the first date, and they usually accept.
Now, okay, you've left the date so that you might see them again. You're going to ring each other in a week or two. Should you actually send them an email or a text the next day to say you've enjoyed yourself? Yes or no?
Yes. Thank you. I think
Yes.
if you're interested.
To send an email or a text the next day to say you've enjoyed the evening and perhaps you're looking forward to seeing them again is a lovely thing to do. But don't be too effusive. Again, you might come across as too keen, and that scares everybody off. But an activity, a low-key activity for a second date is perfect. Nothing too big. I mean, don't bring them back to meet the parents. I mean, actually, somebody who got married through Drawing Down the Moon had spent 22 hours on her first date. She broke all the rules. 22 hours on the first date. He proposed during the first date. She took him back to meet the parents the next day, and they're married and they're expecting a baby now. So it doesn't always go according to the rules. Now, what I'd like is to hear from people here what their action point is that they're taking away from this meeting, what they're going to do differently tomorrow about dating. Is it being more realistic? Is it talking less on first dates? Is it joining an agency? Is it asking their friends? What are you going to do that's different? Tell me.
Oh yes, you have to. I mean, like the domino thing you were talking about. I've done recruitment, and I always say the wider you spread the net, the more chance of catching a fish. So it's the same philosophy, really.
I think I would look at the dating agencies. I think it's a push to get you there. I think once you're there and you get into it and you get used to doing it, then it's fine. It's just making that initial step to decide, right, I'm going to go onto the internet or I'm going to go to a dating agency. And it's very easy just to rest on your laurels sometimes.
So I'd like to thank you all very much for coming and to wish you the very best of luck with your dating.